It was June of 1960, and I had travelled to Genoa to purchase a hat. It was a custom I had picked up in my time shooting films in Italy. I would spend a few days at the Grand Hotel Savoia and buy a felt Borsalino or a Panama, depending on the time of year, from Luciana on the Via Locoli. Shooting films was now a thing of the past, but I still held on to some of my old habits and enough money to maintain them. Genoa, with a stopover in Ventimiglia, was only 4 hours by train from my home in Antibes, enough time to read the latest novel my friend Graham Greene had sent with a warm dedication. The new hat was really just an excuse to spend a few days in the city, strolling along the old port and eating pasta at my favourite trattoria. On this trip I had chosen a classic Panama with a 2-inch brim and a lovely tobacco-coloured ribbon. I visited a couple of bookshops, and then hung my new hat on a hook at Alveliero, where, after chatting with the owner, an old friend, I enjoyed a delicious plate of spaghetti with clams and botarga. I had just placed my hat on my head and stepped into the street when I practically crashed into Pietro Malherbe. "Cazzo! Hoppy! What a surprise!" I hate being called Hoppy. Only people who know me from my early movies, the ones who are still alive, that is, use that ridiculous nickname. I have a theatre agent who died in 1935 to thank for that stage name, Ormond Basil. It was also thanks to him, however, that the name appeared on so many cinema marquees for 25 years, often in larger font than the others. But I never felt comfortable with it. I much prefer my real name, inscribed on the little brass plaque beside the door to my home with a view of the Mediterranean and polished daily by Mrs. Colbert, my housekeeper. Ormond Basil. "What a surprise!" Malherbe said again. Seemingly delighted to see me, he gave me a hug and thumped me loudly on the back. So typically Italian. The display of affection felt a little forced, and I assumed he was using my former glory to impress his companion, an attractive older woman. "This is Hopalong Basil. You remember him?" he said to the woman. Then, looking up at me from beneath grey brows that gave him the appearance of the evil Mephistopheles, "And you know Najat Fajaler, of course." He said it with evident pride. I removed my hat and kissed her bejewelled hand, as was expected of me.